What did your friend do that made you never talk to them again? Just shared this in another thread, but my best friend and my boyfriend drunkenly had fun time in a hot tub and I walked in on them. He was blacked out. When I saw them, he looked me straight in the eyes and didn't even process what was happening. She saw me and the look of shame on her face before she continued having fun time with him told me all I needed to know. For months and months I dreamed about her, not him, at least weekly. In my dreams I would be walking around somewhere and run into her and hug her before remembering what she did. And then she would evaporate and I would be left with this deep seething dream rage. I completely cut her out of my life, full stop. But then, through a series of college housing office mess-ups and bureaucracy, I was forced to live with her and 2 other girls. I tried not to be petty or to make things uncomfortable for my other roommates, so I would occasionally make cold but civil small talk. After we moved out of that immensely awkward living situation, I never spoke to her again. I have no idea what she's doing now. We were best friends, then one day it ended. I don't even know what to say about this. She kept going after you walked in. I couldn't even imagine having to live with someone after that. Had this happened very recently? A good friend of mine, perhaps the friend I'd known the longest, had been going through a rough spot. He had dropped out of college and started doing a lot of drugs, and I really do mean a significant quantity. It started with weed, but he graduated onto Coca-Cola and non-chewable vitamins. Anyway, so he calls me up and says he wants to get clean. I'm ecstatic. I get a bus ticket up to his city and come stay with him before his send-off to rehab. The night I arrive, he tells me to hurry and get ready because we're gonna go party. I figure, it's his last weekend out for a while, maybe we can drink some, maybe go clubbing. Oh no, was I wrong? Oh boy. We get to this dingy little rundown house, the front door is hanging open, and the porch steps are rotting. I ask my friend why we're here, and he says he just wants to pick up some stuff that he bought especially for my visit. Anyway, we go inside, the whole place reeks of pee. It's absolutely trashed inside, peeling wallpaper, dog crap on the floor, so much grime and dirt, and an innumerable quantity of cigarette butts. I follow my friend down an equally foul hallway, to a bedroom door. My friend knocked and we waited. And we waited. And we heard some rustling and waited some more. Eventually, my friend barged in and started rustling through all the piles of trash and laundry and broken trinkets and bits of who knows what, and more dog crap. There's a really young puppy sitting on a pile of laundry, and I'm stricken by how thin it is. I work with puppies, I've seen some stuff, but this dog has been so neglected and has lived in its own filth for perhaps its whole life. My friend is getting angrier and angrier and I've had just about enough, and I go out and sit on the hood of his car. I heard yelling from inside. One of the guys who lived there seemed to have gotten home. My friend starts yelling, and there's a lot of door slamming, and the puppy ran outside and I picked it up and held it. After about 20 minutes, my friend comes out, swearing up and down that it's not usually like this. And without any explanation, we leave, apparently to the party. On the way there, I am less and less comfortable around my friend. He keeps reaching over and grabbing my thigh, and I'm regretting wearing shorts. And the way he looked at me, it wasn't how I knew him to be. No longer my friend who I joked and laughed with, but rather empty, ravenous, and searching for something in me he wasn't finding. All the while, we're driving, and he's catching me up on his life, and he's so bitter. His life is miserable, and lonely, and he took no personal responsibility for any of it. I tried to lighten the mood a few times, but he kept coming back to it, to how everyone in his life had failed him in one way or another. And all the while, he's groping me, first my thigh, then the side of my chest. I tried to push him off, but he kept saying, "Really, you're doing that to me? I put up with so much of your garbage, I've earned this." I sat in silent fear the rest of the drive to the party. After what feels like forever, we pull up to a much nicer looking house, which is to say, a house in a middle-income neighborhood. We get out of the car, my friend is so hyped to be there, excitedly telling me about all the people he wants me to meet. He directs me through the house into the garage, where he says everyone is. The garage is filthy, piled to the ceiling with clutter and garbage, and broken glass is scattered on the floor. In the middle of all the clutter, there's a broken table with folding chairs surrounding it. There are 3 other guys already sitting there. One, a kid around 20, clearly already noticeably elevated, presumably on the non-chewable vitamins like the ones in the prescription bottle he's shaking. Next to him is an older man, maybe 40 or 50 in a stained wife beater and camp cargo shorts. The older man is sucking on the dirtiest, scummiest, most discolored glass water device intended for Zaza I've ever seen. The water at the bottom was slimy looking, and had dead flies in it. He takes another hit and leans back in his seat and twirls the kbar, military knife, not sure on spelling, in his hand. Microsoft Word didn't see anything wrong with that, so I say you did good up anyway. There's another 20-ish kid in the corner passed out. My friend introduces me, and all the guys look at me, looking me up and down. I felt so uncomfortable and out of place and I was sick to my stomach. I asked my friend quietly if we could leave and he laughed at me and lit up. They all passed around the glass water device intended for Zaza for the next hour or two. I'm not really sure. I just sat in the corner texting my boyfriend about how much I didn't want to be there. After 5 hours, we get ready to leave, and as soon as we get back in the car, he's all hands again. I snap at him, but it's really no use. And all the while, he's driving, half paying attention to the road, half fondling me. I'm ready to cry. When we get to his house, he tries to get into my bed. I was sleeping in his room, he was sleeping on the couch with me, and I push him off me and lock the door. Next morning, he left for work, and I packed all my things and left 5 days early without telling him. I had the full support of his mother as soon as I explained the situation. She took me back to the bus station, paid my ticket home. I left him a letter explaining how I felt violated and needed to leave. I haven't heard from him since. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the boyfriend being like, yeah, sure, go with this dude, you haven't seen him in a minute. And then not doing anything while you're sitting him in the corner texting him you don't want to be there is crazy. Like, bro, order her an Uber, what? I told one of my closest guy friends that his girlfriend was cheating on him. I sat him down and told him. He went to confront her. She found me later that night out at the bars and accused me of trying to steal him away from her, which was stupid because I was out with my girlfriend at the time. He hasn't spoken to me since that night. It's been 3 years and they live together now. We used to hang out every day, go fishing, do yoga, and play video games. At the end of the day, OP, I feel like you did the right thing. And that's it for today's stories. Some of those friendship endings were brutal, and honestly a good reminder that not everyone we let into our lives deserves to stay there. What about you? What's the one thing a friend did that made you cut ties for good? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more crazy Reddit stories, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.